Thou who see the door art chosen. In thine exodus from thine own life, make sacrifice who thou used to be. Forsake thine memories, forsake thine identity, to be born anew.
What does God look like? What do you see?
We're solar-powered biological AI.
Wait, what?
These ancient adversarial entities, I think it's the very same ones that rebelled against God and were cast out.
They were sent here to guide us in antiquity, and they took advantage of that and just masqueraded as gods.
What is going on, everybody? Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Gray Pill Podcast. I'm your host, Julian, you know me, Mississippi Mystic, the handsome Hierophant, Elohim etymologist, sound scientist, here with a banger episode for you guys today, live stream, whatever you want to call it. But before we get started, be sure to like the stream, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with grandma. Let's get some people in here. We got the theme song playing, and we got a very special guest in the house with us today, someone who I've been wanting to get on for a while. He's a hard guy to get a hold of. Zerilath Eternal. What's going on, brother? Woo. Good to see you. Good to have you here, man.
I'm in a flow state. Honestly, it just takes pestering me, right? That's all it takes. It just takes pestering me. I like being gotten a hold of. I only have 800 subs. I'm not that big of a deal yet in the grand social discourse of things.
Well, we're gonna work on getting you there, guys. Go over to Zerilath's YouTube. Are you on Rumble?
I have a Rumble account, but I've only put like one or two things there. I need a new computer before I can start acting like I can do all this, because I'm at that point, and right now I've been getting shit together in the material universe, and all that.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, dude, for people who aren't familiar with you and have never seen you before, let us know who you are.
Yeah,
a little bit about yourself and what you talk about on your show. Who is Zerilath Eternal?
All right. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So who the hell am I? So I've been kicking around for 46 solar cycles, and I'm from the American Northeast. I grew up in kind of a Roman Catholic New England kind of like childhood that bothered me a whole lot during those formative years in the 80s and 90s, which had a lot to do with things I'd have to learn about myself because of precisely what I was here to do on this planet, because like somehow it's just, there was just a lot of things where as a kid it was like no. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that no was just normal kid no stuff gone too far. But so much of it I noticed was connected to just that ain't right, that ain't right, that ain't right. And I just knew I just wasn't living in a world that a human being should be living in like this. Like why is a world like this? And it's very upsetting to me, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I ended up having a whole lot of problems the early part of my life, looking for answers to solve those problems because I was driving myself mad. I went into like a born again Christian thing for a long time in the 90s as a young man, trying to just find something out of Catholicism where I didn't think I was going to hell. And then after 9/11, I was having all sorts of new feelings about things. By 2003, I gave a lot of rat's asses about stuff, and you start listening to Alex Jones and you start doing all that, right?
Yeah.
So many years go by as I'm doing my own thing. I'm trying to make music from my home in Connecticut, but operating with guys all over the fucking 5 boroughs. And so I'd be part of the New York scene for a long time, mostly in the Bronx.
What kind of music?
It was extreme metal, death metal, black and death metal. I was predominantly, I was having trouble working it out as a guitarist, even though I really see myself as a guitarist. So I played bass. I played bass for a band called Brain Dead. There's many different bands called Brain Dead.
Wait. Whoa. Brain Dead from New York?
From the Bronx. Yes. You know this band?
Look. That's all I'm going to say to you. There's an Agnostic Front poster right there. I got a Maximum Penalty poster right there.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of New York hardcore.
I've met Agnostic Front. Yeah.
Yeah. So any band to come out of New York in that scene, in that era, whether they be a power violence band or which I grew up playing, like kind of spaz type, infest type music. That was my thing. My band, the last band I was in sounded a lot like Integrity mixed with like sludge metal. It was actually pretty cool. But yeah, dude, that era of hardcore for me growing up in like a DIY punk scene, that was it for me. I just loved it. I love the aesthetic of it, and you got to fucking grow up in it, dude. Incredible.
Yeah. It's fucking cool like that. Like a white boy like me hanging out in the Grand Concourse at 3:00 in the morning because I'm dropping off guys in the band because I'm the driver.
Fuck yeah, man. No, you're probably the most dangerous one too, dude.
No. Back then I was like the fat guy. I wasn't that dangerous. I was just very, very on the lookout. And I'm on double lookout because I'm just like, I don't want to be in an existence with cops, and I don't want to be in an existence with black people of ill temper.
Hey, look, I live in Mississippi. You can imagine my high school was 98% black. So I could either, join a gang and be the most insane person in that gang as a white kid, or be, called cracker and picked on and get your shoes taken off of you and put on top of lockers and stuff. Yeah. So I chose, the first route, and is that all my life I always wanted to be a gangsta, whatever. It's like, yeah. Until there's definitely like you pay for that later on, I think. In my case, I definitely did.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere to. You should not be seeing a little white kid like me hanging out in West Jackson, right?
Right.
Not at all. But
I just was going where I felt like I was supposed to be doing these things as part of how you build connections that are part of what your band needs to do everything that it needs to do, to know, because you got to know all sorts of people, so that way you can build all sorts of opportunities as while you're working on the creative and the financial, right? So I was all over the place in all sorts of different areas. I wasn't super crazy about it, but I wasn't going to be a pussy and not go into the nasty fucking back alley, right? So I was just like, here I go, hanging out in the underworld. I'm sure mom and dad will be proud of me for this one. Crack? No. Give me weed. That's it. I don't need the crack. You have the crack over there. Okay.
Dude, fucking very similar experience, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh man, very similar experience. Oh wow. Yeah. I still have to remember how the Bronx is. I've never been past the Mason-Dixon line. I've never been north of Tennessee. I guess.
Right.
I've been to Southern Kentucky for a family reunion.
I mean, just like one of the shirts I wear is from my bandmate's other band that I wasn't ever in, which was like a thrash metal band. And the back of the shirt just has a picture of the map of the Bronx, and it just says "You could die in the Bronx," and that's the back of the shirt, right? That band's called Tortured Existence. They're a good band. Tortured Existence. I have to check them out, dude. Yeah. I'll show you all the guys in. It's like, I guess you'd call it the Edverse, which is like all the bands that like were in the orbit of Brain Dead, and me and my friendship with Ed, and I'm still friends with this guy too. Now he's asking me questions because he's finally paying attention, because New York City's falling apart,
right?
And all these people he knows from things in music and whatnot were in the Epstein files. It's like, I think I need to start paying attention. He's
right
paying attention for a little bit now, but
like,
slow
maybe
on the
Zerilath was onto some shit when
exactly.
when I called him crazy all those years ago.
Half my buddies in the scene are like, oh shit, right? You like, wait, you know something about this, don't you, Steve? Right?
I've received some of that vindication from some of my friends. I had a buddy that texted me and he goes, wait, so it's always these people, right? And I'm like, well, hey man, what do you say? I mean, this is someone who's like a normie, right? Like grew up listening to hardcore.
Their plan is to have their people identify as those people, so that way they can be scapegoated as them people, which is why I read that whole book just now on my channel.
Really?
Yes.
How long did that take?
It took a little while. It was like almost 30 different sections. I, for the most part, tried to go about 3 hours per sitting, getting through the 346 pages of it. And that doesn't include the whole Talmud. It just includes the primary tractates on the Sabbath with reference points.
Okay.
And because I didn't want to spend that much time on it. I'm using
that's a lot of time.
My channel, like I'm doing that as kind of like Leap Spring exposition kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. That's an exposure read, a reactionary read for that purpose. It's kind of part of of like a media magic that I do when I do these things.
I got you.
Right.
Okay.
Because when I started reading that book on my channel, the Epstein files hadn't been released yet, right? And now, just like everybody's looking at that picture. Oh, by the way, that's the Talmud behind Jeffrey Epstein. Oh,
I heard people say that's the Zohar
being ahead of
yeah.
Oh, the Talmud. What's that? Oh, look, Steve's reading it in real time, right? Or you could listen to a really boring dry read of it from somebody, or you could listen to some asshole who's been talking about it forever in some rabbi sect, or like, or you could listen to a guy who's been working on this problem without dehumanizing people for a long time. Because by the time 2012 came around with my life, I was fucking 32 years old. I had finally realized that I was like, kind of wanted to say smarter than everybody else, at least in my orbit or whatever. And I became far more conscious of actual content that I had to hunt for, mostly on YouTube, because there's lots of articles you could Google search back then, or whatever independent search engine you might have been checking out in 2012. But eventually I figured out different things. I found Revolution Radio, started listening to that because I kind of drifted into getting my information from Dr. Sean David Morton on Strange Universe, who was on American Freedom Radio.
Okay.
And so I was really impressed with his work at the time, as far as finding something that really said something that I thought also was interesting to listen to, maybe relatable to a few people, because Sean was definitely a guy who could relate to baby boomers, right? And had a certain kind of attitude about him, right? By the end of that year, we would become friends because he would move to to Revolution Radio from American Freedom Radio, and then within a short period of time, he was struggling to have some sort of co-pilot to take care of things because he wasn't used to that format because he had been downgraded as the industry was pushing him out, and he had to fend for himself, getting deals with freaking, History Channel to do 5 seconds of commentary on ancient aliens, right? And this was Sean trying to
what's this guy's name again?
Dr. Sean David Morton of Strange Universe Radio. His wife, his widow, Melissa, because he passed away in 2024.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah.
I've seen his face. Yeah.
We were friends after 2012.
Okay.
And there was a brief period of time where I didn't talk to him for a couple of reasons, but then I forgave him for it. That's my man, Sean.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's resurrected somewhere. He's reincarnated. I mean, somewhere
absolutely
right now. There's no way he was sticking around on the other side. He was just like, get me back in.
I got more work to do, man.
I know this motherfucker. He's in the fight. he had a real laughing Buddha kind of attitude. He went through a whole lot of shit. He could chuckle about it. Right off to the end. He died of cancer that everybody knows was from government-induced, cancer to kill him.
Yeah,
in prison. But for the many years before that, he kept doing his thing. He got in trouble because he thought he had found a legal loophole with if you have a notary, and his wife, Melissa, who's an awesome person. She's been on my channel, and Sean was on my channel quite a few years ago before the cancer made it hard for him to do anything with anybody. But Melissa was on my channel, and just recently, even just like within this year, because she's picking up, getting active, doing a few things in his universe. So, and Sean came out of a pedigree, where I think like his dad or something was involved with NASA or something like that, and then he also went in a different direction because of what he wanted to do in media through college or whatever. Mm-hmm. I can't remember all those stories too much, but I was very much just in the mix of I was doing the information junkie thing. I was finding all sorts of golden material that was conspiratorial, and I tapped into the New Age just because I could see, look at this. I can learn something about Eastern mysticism and some very interesting applications to dealing with the conspiracy, right? Mm-hmm. Over time, I got really fucking frustrated because everybody because everything in New Age just turned into, you fight the conspiracy by getting into a lotus position. And I was just like, okay, you've totalized everything into sitting on my ass.
Right.
Which goes against everything in my natural sense of instincts. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I cherished things like meditation. I did meditation just before this live stream. But but my point is that I was starting to notice how things didn't work so well in that regards. Right. So over time, I was looking for spiritual answers, not just conspiracy answers, because I had soul searching to do from all that Christian shit I went to until through the 2000s after 9/11. I kind of was just like, no, I'm fucking done with all of it. I don't know what is, except I do fucking believe in, quote, God.
I exist, right?
Right. Yeah. I think God exists because of something deep in my fucking intuitive feelings, but I don't think this book or these people are helping me have a fucking relationship with it. Right. And I had to figure out how I fucking don't feel like I'm burning in hell for walking away. How does that fucking work? Eventually I figured that out. you know, and that was before I figured out that I'm an animist pagan.
You'll have to explain that to me.
Yes. Well, that came about as I was starting to pick up on things when my research was starting to get me off of like Eastern mysticism flavored up like Ben and Jerry's with Christian New Ageism, and started looking into, okay, ancient practices and how about
a lot of what I've read is what I think you.
Yeah. What about other ancient practices outside of Eastern practices that don't get some sort of fucking like lecture from the Christian world about what the F it is, or from or it's the popularly pushed something or another from the secular world that I'm learning is this thing called the profane, right? And how do I get non-profane knowledge about the past so I could figure this whole thing out and learn a thing or two about spirituality that's been suppressed? Because I'm learning that, oh, okay, a lot of things are suppressed, and it's just like, why did you need to violently suppress pagan Europe? You know, which would be obviously my ancestors in there, right? It's just like that we were monsters.
We were demons.
Then is the idea.
Yeah.
Right. So it was okay that we were living on the way that we were living. And then all of that just turned up to be wrong. Right. And you know, when you live through 2020, you can kind of understand how something can take over and say, no, the way you were living was wrong. Right. You know, 2020 was trying to sweep over a new way of life for that was meant to be permanent with the lockdown.
For some people it is. Yeah.
Right.
You still see people with masks on, you know.
Well, I think a lot of people, well, a lot of people with masks on are also, I mean, if you're having a hard time with things, there might be a lot of particulates in the air that are going to irritate you more than other people with how you're feeling. You may be constantly in contact with an elderly person, this, that, and the other thing. And you just feel that way for sanitary purposes. Right. And it's more at this point, the mask exists at a courtesy for people that have always wanted to have some sort of sanitary boundary between them and strangers in the public space as such. Right. And it can be very, very unnerving, just because you know that you never used to see it before, other than when they showed you, oh, here's just regular people in communist Beijing walking down the street, right? You know, and you see so many people wearing those masks for various reasons that had nothing to do with a pandemic, right? Part of it had to do with people just didn't want to breathe the air because of horseshit environmental regulations.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm on something with that. And you could probably tell I'm a little stopped up right now, dude. The pollen around here, it's a little more, it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. Way crazier than usual. And everyone's affected by it right now. Yeah, a lot of guys that I work with.
Yeah, I do a lot of the cleanup work on construction sites, so I'm constantly riddled with all manners of dust, both toxic and benign.
Right. Yeah. So what made you kind of take that journey to look into the past through this other lens?
Well, once once I was able to kind of transcend a lot of moral arguments, right? Like, people are still looking for some sort of biblical God metric for the pillar of morality, truth, and rightness, right? And something to lean on as this absolute existential authority that you could also pick up and browbeat other people with to make you feel safe, right? And so it's going through the ideas of the characteristics of what the all-encompassing creator God is, and then all these other things that are factors in the invisible world, right? Because, you know, I spent a lot of time in the process looking at things like the paranormal in general. So where do alien phenomenon fit in to biblical cosmology? Where do ghosts fit in to biblical cosmology? So on and so forth, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like,
think about it. Now that I think about it, there's never like a ghost encounter. I don't think there's ever been a ghost encounter in the Bible. Is there one? Maybe there's one. I don't know, but I'm assuming there must probably be one that goes undiscussed largely. But like where, you know, you'd think there'd be some Old Testament protocol for I walked into a house and then I called upon the Lord and it cast out the foul spirit so I could sleep in the house or something like that, right? Like where, like, so where's that? Because obviously they're not going to say ghosts, because that's not the way their cosmology works. And ghosts aren't, by and large, like, that's soul imprint stuff that lurks around. And, you know, and naturally the real soul of the person in the when it's in the bardo phase of after death, you know, that can legitimately come to you, or by special circumstances of the higher cosmic forces, as such. Right?
I got you.
Long story short, though, I eventually landed here because I was starting to see that there was simply both the merit to getting into a pagan relationship with gods, and that was also coming from looking at how they were lying about it and looking at what they are instead of what I was told that they are. And a great deal was starting to make sense to me by that point. It's because a lot of people in these works, they're always more concerned about like showing you what isn't. And it's intriguing. It gets a lot of attention because it's talking about what you know and then telling you what you know is a lie. But then it doesn't have a very strong plane or a very strong foundation to land on. You're just left with like, well, here you go. Enjoy your ontological shock. Good luck in the abyss. And that's the end of whatever program you watch. It just convinced you that, you know, the earth is, you know, this crazy trapezoid.
Right.
You know, and that's Gnosticism. Right. So Gnosticism is like this step that is almost there, because that Gnostic infrastructure in the cosmological universe that makes looking into the angels and the demons and all that stuff so important, and the Nephilim and all of that, because all of that is real stuff, but it exists in a narrative of itself,
exactly
designed to be a replacement, right? And all of these entities are an incursion that was invited here by corruption from our high councils, as time immemorial, going back into pre-Ice Age, which is during the latter end of the Atlantean and Mu time cycles, where these corruptions came in and was setting up the fall.
How long ago were those?
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. I mean, what Mu like? I mean, this is what I've heard. It was around 100,000 years ago.
Well, there's some exact dates that I know can be known. I've heard them in some of the aspects of my studies. One of the things that I eventually came to, and I hit it in like 2018, was my initiation into the mystery school. I'm with Sethkus Boza's mystery school, the Temple of the White Dragon, from Black Earth Productions. And so he has some of these answers. I think when I was just recently, it was somewhere, I think, in the 50,000 years ago category, because we're talking about a period of time not too long before that Ice Age, the Ragnarok that brought that Ice Age.
I got you.
Yeah. Because everything is, everything for me is about clearing up pre-Anunnaki world, post-Anunnaki world, which is also pre-19th dynasty of Kemet, post-19th dynasty of Kemet, the Akhenaten factor, and the things that brought that in.
Why was Akhenaten so important?
Well, he brought in the priest class that put him together, brought him in, and he did something that was not the custom, at the very least, understanding perhaps the laws, is that everybody in Kemet had all sorts of freedoms, and your house, your family had personal gods. Aton was this personal god of Akhenaten, right? That was coming through with his family, and he used his authority when they thought it was a great idea to make him pharaoh, to do what he did, that everybody knows that he did, which was to wipe out the old gods, the original gods, the natural order of things, and replace it with this single unifier that would pour everything into sun worship as a monotheism. Right. And then Aton is everything, right? It's very like law of one, Ra's law of one. This very
Atom, that's in the Kabbalion, right? Like it talks about Atum. Is that how you say his name or spell it?
Atu Atum. Aton is A-T, I believe it's A-T-O-N.
Okay. Aton.
Aton, like Atonism.
Okay. I see. Okay. Here, I'm going to pull this up.
And so it's got a lot of those same tropes as the Law of One material, which when I heard some of the Law of One material, I said, whatever entity this was channeled from is some sort of intercosmic artificial intelligence. It talks to you like it's a computer coding script lines with repetitive assertions, throwing these authorities on it as it's trying to crush you into a singularity of being one with God and everyone else. I know you're friends with Paranoid American, and if you've watched this Neon Genesis series, you don't want that. I don't want to go into the goo with everyone else.
Yeah, no.
This is why I had Jin the Ninja on my show to talk about Gurren Lagann, because I love Neon Genesis.
We're friends with the same people.
Gurren Lagann has a superior fucking message.
Right. Yeah, man, we're friends with the same people. We run into the same crowds. Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. You're right. I'm seeing how, like, this picture right here, it's like it's emanating from from this one Aten, or Aten, as you said. It's giving the sun off. So would you say that, because most people think that these dark entities are giving their energy to like Saturn or one of these other planets, Venus being Lucifer, right? That's misunderstood a lot. Most people look at that as a deity. They have no idea that it's just what Venus was referred to as, right? Sometimes Mars.
There's multi levels to many of these things, because there's what they are as entities, there's what they are in the Jungian sense, right? It's like Jungian analysis of the gods is a very, very important place in when you're talking about the parables, the personal development, the way the shaman uses it as a tool for you to reflect upon yourself, and then where a character like Lucifer or Loki holds their place. But when we're talking about the mythos as giving us the greater answers to the real problems in the human condition, when we understand that, combined with some of the things we learned scientifically just from like demonology and ghost hunting and things like that, and all the little hints that come from what's effective in the field, you begin to notice things. I've heard a supreme amount of reports for a while that if you threw up, most specifically, even more so than like a cross, which is mostly happening on a belief level or whatever, you throw up the Egyptian winged disc when you have an encounter with like the Greys or something, it works like a cross and they bug the fuck out.
Wait, what?
Yes.
The sun disc.
I've heard, yes, I have heard from those that have had Grey encounters that that had some sort of knowledge of Egyptology and were more interested in that than traditional religions, that they discovered that the Egyptian sun disk would repel these Greys. It's part of a lot of stories that had gone around explaining these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Right? And it is a shield, right? The sun can be is sometimes interpreted as this golden shield. Yeah.
This is it's what I've been talking about lately. Most people think that the Son of God and the Son of God are two different things. It's like, well, it's the same concept, right? Then we have the word soul, right? SOL.
Yeah.
Our soul. Does that mean that our souls are tied to the sun in some way, or is that reincarnation, or not reincarnation, but like
you have to
trap?
People just have to take out part of the hijacking with talking about a son of God is the Jewish messianic complex kind of thing, or any one of these religions or cults that says that a man of divine appointment, who may be a god himself or the god himself, having a body incarnate here to sit in earthly office and position as a ruler that'll solve literally all things and make all life perfect, and people will be in their hearts wanting to be obedient because it'll all be good and nothing wrong with it. Right? This is absolute madness. I would fucking want to do, like, people like that should not be allowed to run society. Right? Fundamentalists are terrible people.
I think we're seeing that right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing that, but we're also seeing it poorly.
We're experiencing it. Yeah.
Because, if you are sitting there and this whole time talking about the war in Iran, and you don't give two fucks about the secular people that are being oppressed because of these, like, you realize how this shit works. They got a handful of women per dude as breeding cattle. They're fucking breeding armies. These guys all have fucking, like, they're all like fucking brothers getting into like these fucking military operations. And it's this very small portion of the population breeding a huge portion of the population by the merit of like their polygamy laws and all, and or just like their love of having large abundant families, so on and so forth. And they come in, they take over, and they tell you that people that aren't like you can't have your lives. You must live our way because you're making a fool of us. That's what it is, right? It's just like it's a terrifying prospect to say that God said no, and then these people kept doing it and God didn't punish them. Right? So it's embarrassing them, right? Like we live our lives in ways that embarrass people that are bibliodolaters, people who worship a book, the people of the book. Yeah. They're very embarrassed because they're just like, why hasn't a flood wiped these people out yet? Right? And
everyone's familiar.
When I see horrible, actual, like objectively terrible behavior, I'll agree with the Christian a little bit. It's like, yeah, why hasn't a flood wiped them out yet? This is fucking disturbing. Right. But my point is that they get, fairly contentious. It's just that the Christians really aren't as bad, objectively speaking, as like Muslim and Jewish fundamentalists, at least living in those fucking countries where they seem to do much better getting away with murder as long as they got the numbers.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how it is.
Yeah. So it's all about fighting the hijacking, right? Because you've got, if you're in a Gnostic worldview, you've got the absolute servants of Yaldabaoth, and the whole order of archons, angels and demons. And then you've got the Christians who are just victims of it that wish it wasn't that way. And then they go off into what the Gnosticism's teaching them, and they're looking for Sophia. And it's just like, yeah, you want the mother of the monster because you don't realize that you want to escape that whole thing. First, understand the whole mythos outside of it and how it used to be before this all fucking happened.
Yes.
Because this did not fucking happen first. Yaldabaoth's creation story is something that was made up as part of how the Dark Sorcerers weaved the portal to open up to bring in from the fucking dark universe what they've done, because we are off alignment. Part of my mission is biospiritual regenesis, which is to bring the earth back to alignment. Not going to happen in my lifetime, but the point is that I'm here, and
that's beautiful, man. Yeah.
What I am doing.
Absolutely, dude. Do you think our symbols have been hijacked too and used?
Well, of course they have.
Yeah,
of course they have.
Used against us, really.
Right.
People don't know how powerful these symbols are, and really the power of intent that you put behind the usage of that. Right. They like to really think of it all as just evil. Right. When it's like, well, if you look back to where these originally came from, it actually means, you can believe what we're being told because it's kind of like, well, we got to question all this stuff except for this, right? Because this book says not to question it. And it gets to the point where it's like, well, what are we doing here? What are we really doing here?
Right. Right. And it's pointless to really make arguments with people that are coming up with those kinds of grievances. Yeah, because it's just, if your argument is it's better to be ignorant, then there is no argument. You're much more interested in being my enemy, and therefore as long as you declare me your enemy, I am much happier with your foolishness.
Based.
Yeah, because, you will not be prepared to win an argument with me, and I'm going to embarrass you in front of your whole fucking family.
Let's fucking go. Zerilath coming with the heat.
I'm gonna come.
I am like the kindest, most honorable, like most respectful person, and like I just don't understand why people want to fucking like get uppity with me.
I've been receiving a lot of it lately.
What are we doing, dude? We're just chilling. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, dude. Especially on my audio platforms. I'm sure it's affected my subscriber count and other things, but like I have to push for truth. I'm not going to grift to any of y'all for numbers or for money. I don't care. I made that very clear at the beginning of my show. But I think especially with this war right now, this is something else that you see in these biblical prophecies. And I think it's happened during every single war. Preachers are starting to get in a frenzy and they're like, see right here in this book, this chapter, this verse, it says this is what's happening now. The same thing happened in World War II, I, Civil War, Revolutionary War, like all these. And so it's just this cycle. I think it's an energy vacuum, dude.
It's master psychological operation
It's
work.
a fucking psyop. Yeah, dude.
Is what the Bible is because of its paltered techniques. Part of what it's doing, especially because there is some wisdom from old Sumerian fairy tales that were appropriated as all Hebraic fairy tales when it actually came from across the Sumerian region. Some of it was wisdom about consequences, about cause and effect, right? If deep down in the pre-Anunnaki times of that region, there were lots of Saturn worshipers, guys worshiping, whether his name was actually El before the Anunnaki showed up and changed things, or if he was this Yahweh character or whatever. There was always some storm fertility god of Saturn. And so they kind of took, somebody took that and made all of that just Yahweh. And just changed the name to Yahweh because all of it fit just like the way in Europe, Odin and Wotanaz and
Godin, the name of God,
and all these different derivatives of Odin all end up fitting. And Odin is also Saturnian. People don't talk about that much as his mercurial, but any mythos where your god is always an old man, you're Saturnian. This is Odin and Wainamoinen. Wainamoinen was literally born an old man after being in his mother's womb forever. Okay, so
wow.
So you get the very obvious sense of where Saturn is in the mix with certain gods, right? Because Odin is also a fertility god, which is why he has a spear. He's obviously the war god, and war and storms.
Spear's name is Graham, right?
Cognate to each other. A storm is a war. Ymir is the screamer, the first Jotun that the war god slain. Why? Because he just wouldn't shut up. He was screaming all the time. Death to America. See, the myth, I don't have to get biblical. You want me to get Nordic with you? Ymir's right there. Death to America every day. Right? I am sorry that I feel threatened because my neighbors are Zionists. I'm not that angry that we're bombing the hell out of jihadis because they suppress metal music in Iran. I want to see a free Iran so that way metal bands can play out in the open. People don't understand how Nazi Germany it is under the fucking Ayatollah. And you're defending these fucking people just because we're Palestinians. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with the fucking Palestinians that they got themselves wiped out instead of having a conversation.
People who watch my show know I'm not a fan of either. So
hey, look, listen. I don't want nobody to get fucking
nothing new
wiped
here,
off
man.
the face of the earth.
Nothing new here.
But if you don't fucking come to table, then peace is what you don't want. The guy who comes to table is the guy who wants peace. Whether the politicians want to fucking admit that or not, the record is superior in real time.
Yeah.
Then you just have to hold your narrative together, if it's true, by the time an election happens. Not that that even fucking matters, but it just steers the course of the fucking psyche in the process.
Yeah. I think you're right about a lot of that there, Lath.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so I had to give up on being a peacenik at a certain point. You know, and how do I do that without becoming a war hawk? Right. You know, because that's not the point. It's just that I couldn't stand the attitude, right? It's just like I despise the peace sign because it's not peace, it's surrender. Because
it's the total opposite of. I mean, it's the
Norse
Algies, right?
It is the Norse rune of psychic defense reversed, Merkstave, which means that its power is down. It means you've surrendered.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull these up real fast. This is just one picture I have. You may be familiar with it.
Okay.
I'm sure you could read all these, right? You and Stein have a rune reading show that you usually do today, correct?
Yeah. All right. I am not as well versed in the younger Futhark. So
you're gonna have to.
So a lot of those are gonna run on. This is interesting. I've not seen this wheel. I'd have to take a closer look to see what they're trying.
I can send it to you. Yeah. I really don't know where I got it, dude. I was looking. I have something else that I really want to show you. I found it on X, obviously, so it may just be some new age gobbledygook. But yeah, I'll definitely send that to you.
All right.
But all these mean something, right?
Yeah. All of these mean something,
and they're very, very ancient.
Yeah. So, like I said, that's got some of the younger Futhark in it, and I have to be more on point with the younger. I'm an older Futhark guy, but you've got things start up at the very top, where you've got that thing that says Vater up at the top. So that's Fehu. Fehu is there's in the 24 of the Elder Futhark. I work with I go through the cycle of the 3 8s in principle. The first 8 of the Futhark is the physical world represents physical development and process. Then psychological is the second 8, and then spiritual is the last 8. So Fehu is about resources exemplified in the symbolism of a cow, female cattle. Uruz is an old word cognate to aurochs, oxen, or a bull, a male cow. It's exemplifies strength and vitality. Thorn, Thorisaz. This is Thor's rune. It is about physical protection. Then it would go into Ansuz. I believe that's a different runic version of Ansuz you're seeing as that major symbol in that bar. Ansuz is Odin's rune. It is
this one right here.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Okay.
Yes. Because I'm going around in
clockwise
in order, but I'm doing the Elder Futhark for you because like I said, the younger's lost on me.
I had no idea that there were two different ones.
So. That's okay. There's still things I can talk about with them. So Ansu's is the messenger rune, right? This is like you get like that little thought in your head, that little voice in your head drops that little idea, right? And if that's an upside down rune, it's Loki's rune, but if it's upright, it's Odin's rune. So, it's like you're either being lied to by that idea, you're lying to yourself, in other words, or you're being divinely inspired by whatever benevolent force is dropping in on your inner ear. So then you go to Raido, which obviously is this letter R looking one just after Ansu's here. Raido is for riding and rituals, and so it's transportation. It's about getting from one state to another state of being, or from one place to another place on a horse. Usually, there's
right. Safe travels.
It's in its most official terms, it's riding a horse, but everybody knows magically it's ritual work and things of this nature. Then you go to Kenaz. That is the younger Futhark Kenaz there, which looks like a little Ziegheiler.
Holy shit, you're right.
The Kenaz in the Elder Futhark, it looks like the mathematical symbol for lesser than. It's an open like that, like a pattern.
Okay, I got you.
Right.
Okay.
So that's Kenaz. Kenaz is about you hear the word kenning in Norse mystical terminologies, which are these little attestations about like the gods often that talk about their qualities, their abilities. Kenning is what can you do? The word can. Like, what can you do for me? That's the same thing as kenning, as Kenaz. It's ability, it's authority, it's these things. Okay, Futhark. So on the wheel, like down there, you can it goes to Hagalaz down there, which is strange because they're skipping Gebo, which looks like Gebo is actually up top for some reason next to Fehu.
Right here.
Right? That's what comes next in Elder Futhark. Funny enough, you can actually see the Kenaz rune in the corner.
Yes. I was gonna say. I thought. Yeah.
Yes. Gebo is the balance rune. It's the gift rune. I've in my astrology, I've got some favorable Libra placements, so I like working with Gebo a lot to keep me balanced in my scales, right? So that's so it's about the gift, it's about balance of things, and if you understand the progression, right? Because the next one is called Wunyo, which trying to find out where they're hiding Wunyo on this wheel, and that's the last one in the 8. Wunyo, if it was here, it would look like a little flag. It would be straight up, and it'd have a little triangle at the top of it. If the Elder Futhark Wunyo was here,
okay.
So the Elder Futhark Wunyo is joy from satisfaction, right?
Yeah,
it's why it comes after Gebo, because once the equivalent exchange, like the alchemical principle, is made, you reach the alchemical kind of transmutation point that then would reveal your magnum opus, if you will, right? Kind of like Wunyo, you're like, wunderbar, it's happened, right? It's manifested, right? And so Fehu, you need the resources and you need the strength to do what you got to do. You have to protect the space in which you're doing what you're doing. You have to have the idea for getting things done. That's the Ansus, right? So I'm running through this like for you as a developmental process. Then you actually do it. That's Raido. Through the process of ritual, you get better at it. It gives you more ability, more more authority, more power. That's your kinas. Then from there, that ability, like a craftsman. Oh, like now I've got a page on what's the darn artist page where you bought.
Bandcamp?
Why is it escaping me right now?
You're talking about music?
No,
SoundCloud?
like people do arts and crafts and they sell it on the website.
Etsy.
Etsy, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so now your craft, you've got a thing on Etsy and you can sell stuff at a reasonable price. A fair exchange is made. That's Gebo. You feel great about what you've done and the money you've made. That's the satisfaction of Wunyo, right? And so you see how if you don't order the runes specifically that way, you don't have a natural progression of accomplishment of things in the material world.
Fascinating. That's fascinating. I'd love to talk to you about that further.
That then continues its logic for psychological development in Hagalaz through Saul, and then for spiritual development from Tiwaz to Othal.
Yeah. I was going to pull up this other picture real fast, ask you about it as well.
Okay.
Guys, we're getting past the top of the hour. Like the stream, please. As I like to say, don't be a faggot. And yeah, get it out there. It's to be honest with you, I haven't done a show on a Saturday at 5:00. I don't know. Usually this is, if I do shows, it's on Saturday and Sundays. I mentioned earlier on my morning show, we had read the Volsunga Saga, part 3, up until chapter 18, and then finished Occult Symbolism of Animals, finally. And so, but I had mentioned that I will not be able to stream during the weekdays. Right now, guys, I'm getting off work at like 8:00, 8:30. I get my ass kicked. So catch me on the weekends, or you probably, like I said, I have some Patreon stuff that we're doing. You brought up Paranoid American earlier. We have something we've been planning for a while. We're going to watch Sword in the Stone on Patreon and have like an esoteric little analysis of it, hang out, drink a beer. Yeah, he actually was the first person. I went on his show. His show was the first show I ever went on. Back when I started Grey Pill about 2 years and 3 months ago. Or no, 2 months ago. I don't know. But and then we have some other Patreon stuff that we're going to be doing that I had mentioned earlier. So unless someone books with me, y'all won't see really any. Or if we stream a movie, we may stream one of the Lynch films. I don't know. I did a whole deep dive on Twin Peaks on Patreon. It took like 7-8 months. It took a long time. It was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do that since I saw the show. And I was like, I want to watch this with an audience and explain everything to them. And by the time I got done watching it this time, I figured we all figured out so much more. I say we, I mean like me and a few other people. But incredible. R.I.P. King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to. Yeah. You know what? You're gonna laugh. I haven't given myself a chance to sit down and watch Eraserhead.
Oh, dude.
I know.
You should totally do it.
I know. The way people tell me about Eraserhead, I'm just like, I know.
It still
I'm
confuses
I
me.
don't know about this head trip of a fucking film.
Yeah, it's definitely like a fever dream. It gets to be to where it's kind of like a weird fever dream, and you're like, okay, I'm not sure what this is, but I'll finish it.
Yeah,
we watched that.
I'm good with fever dreams. I once took mushrooms and watched Darren Aronofsky's Pie.
I once ate mushrooms and watched The Holy Mountain. So.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You watched my breakdown of The Holy Mountain, right?
Huh?
Did you watch my breakdown of The Holy Mountain with Slick Dissident?
No,
oh
dude.
My God.
Can you guys come on my show and do it again, please?
Slick's
the man, dude. Slick watches the Gods of the Morning Wood every Saturday. Usually, I usually have a couple of the rejects that come and hang out with me.
Right.
And Rat and Subliminal Messenger, my homeboy, he was there this morning with me. Yeah.
So yeah, no, you got to watch that. Like me and him, we do some righteous stuff. Oh, like the stuff I picked up on in that one. Yeah, and like there's fantastic principles in it. I don't work with Kabbalistic magic. I am figuring out things that are more along the lines of what Keylontic science is doing. I'm not taking their precise narrative because some stuff happened since Howard Dean lost control of it, which I think they killed him was the deal, right? But the original work the original work through him was on point, as I understand it. So that's why I work with a different tree of life for that reason, which is also the same life, same tree of life that represents Yggdrasil in Edred Thorson's books.
Okay. Is that the same tree of life that the Greeks use for their Kabbalah?
No, if it's Kabbalah, then it's not. It's
okay.
It's
different. Got you. Totally different thing.
Like that, right?
Okay.
Like Kabbalah,
you just mentioned tree of life, and I know that the Greeks have a similar
geometry. The numerology and the geometry is kind of like the baseline. It's the science stuff, and it's those forms and those numbers have their universal meanings that then can get fit with whatever energies, consciousness concepts you want to run through those numbers and those forms. And if you are making channels and pathways a certain way, you're making certain alterations and assumptions to things, right? And so everything is supposed to operate on the 369. So it has its oscillating balancing principle, and this also means you're working with a 9-point tree, not a 10-point tree.
Okay,
that's a part of it. It's symmetrical, and there's a 12-point tree that overlays around it. There's a few more nodes.
Interesting.
Those couple more nodes, those 4 more nodes to make it go 12-point, right? These are that's the tree, and there's still a lot that I have to learn. I just understand the baseline of the form, and when that tree is in your spiritual center, running on your central pillar, this is what is going to bring you into alignment. And this reaches this biospiritual regenesis. The outer world, it's represented by our axial tilt, the seasons, the fact that we have a time of death at all, such as the winter, the time since the paradise, before the ice age, we were not on an axial tilt. That's part of what they don't want you to understand. It's part of the real reason we had the conditions for dinosaurs. And although they're fucking with what dinosaurs are, the point is those are the bones amongst the ones they have not faked of real beasts that were here in the Hyperborean time. Because Lord of the Rings was not lying to you.
I'm starting to realize that more and more lately. I think I've done dinosaurs bad. Because I always say they're fake and gay just to kind of, say it. But I think that
very,
if they
very
existed,
obvious. If you flip the bones around, a brontosaurus with a T-Rex head and cartilage wings, there's your fucking dinosaur. I mean,
right. Yeah, they had maybe feathers.
Like
some of them
in the TV show Da Vinci's Demons on Starz Network, in season 1, Da Vinci goes into the Vatican vault with the fucking Pope, and he shows him a T-Rex head. So how'd you like to study the head of a dragon? Because he's trying to get him in on the order. Right. And so even in the show, they make the point that, yes, we looked at that kind of stuff and we knew they were dragons.
Yeah, man. Dragons are at least like fireworms, you know.
It's my understanding that because there was, I don't know if this is exactly correlated with the Ice Age, but we used to have a less kind of dense gravity, right? Which is why it was so possible for so much gigantic stuff to not have a problem, right?
Yeah.
Dragons went into the water and became whales.
What did you just say?
Whales are dragons.
Oh man.
Not like killer whales, because those are like dolphins. I'm talking about like humpback whales, blue whales, like whales. Right? They went through a whole physiological change. I think that this was done by Udin. If you understand, you know, the supreme creator as the gold ring of Udin in the Box Saga, he would have done a thing, and certain dragons survived as whales because when the density shift happened, some of them were able to go into the water and survive by sacrificing their ability to fly.
Wow. But is that why they're so intelligent and like...
Yeah, and I think it's also why they like just for fun to try and fly. Whales are trying to fly. They jump out of the water for shits and giggles.
What about dolphins?
I think dolphins used to fly too, but they weren't dragons.
What were they?
The cetaceans, they're more like aqua people. Like that's getting closer to like dolphins are more like aquatic ape theory level.
Yeah.
Dolphins and Delphi are kind of the same thing. Dolphins were part of the Oracle experience. A lot of temples of Delphi were on the water for this reason, because I think the temples of Delphi were like a spiritual SeaWorld.
Spiritual SeaWorld.
Yes, where things were in proper alignment, and you know, you treated the dolphin as the, you know, sacred magical beast that it was. You might have sacrificed them. I'd imagine there was dolphin sacrifice because that's just unfortunately the way it was. But I mean, sacrificing one in a crowd as opposed to like sacrificing them all for a big fucking thing. You know, there's
kind of what's happening now, huh?
There's levels. Granted, there shouldn't be blood sacrifice at all, except for you gotta eat. And when biospiritual regenesis happens, you know, you're going vegan or breatharian without having problems, right? You know, you won't like you'll get the nutrition you need out of it. Right now, it's kind of hard. You're not going to be jacked, except for that one guy. I don't know how he does it, who's a vegan bodybuilder. But outside of this one vegan bodybuilder I saw, I haven't seen one vegan succeed in getting jacked. You know?
Yeah. Are you a vegan?
No, I'm an omnivore.
Me too. I've never put it that way. I'm an omnivore.
Yeah, you've forgotten. Like it's false. Most people are omnivores. You know, they get broccoli and a steak and whatever. It's just you are. You know, you just the steak is there, so you just think you're a carnivore. It's like no, you're an omnivore. You're eating both.
Well, what you said about the dolphins, you know who Kratomotwo, well, I think he's been dead for some time now. He was friends with David Icke, I believe, Zulu shaman or a Sangoma. And yeah, dude, he talks about the dolphins being one of the first like beings to walk on the earth, basically. Or fly, as you said, but how they were this species that came from elsewhere,
right?
And
right.
Yeah, that they were basically a priest class.
That wouldn't shock me, right?
Yeah.
It's just like it's like Hitchhiker's Guide was right. So long and thanks for all the fish. It's just like when the dolphins leave, you know we fucked up. All right, the dolphins are still here. We're okay so far.
Yeah, I think Kratom Motwa was right about a lot of things. As strange as a man as he was, definitely was on point. You see that now. You see a lot of things coming to fruition now that have been talked about for a long time. But, I think a lot of people, do you think there are people being kind of like psyop now by all the conspiracies that have been kind of placed here and there?
Yeah, of course. There's it's different now, right? I think we're in flux, because it's obvious to me that there are, which is why they're perpetrating it on the level that they are. You still got people of jumping into Antifa sentiments, and then people jumping into MAGA sentiments over all of these wild things all the time. And people are triggered the fuck out because we're in a place where we've never seen such a high level of impunity of authority of this government in I suppose a very long time, like we have today. Yeah. Right. There was a random No Kings protest today. I was just like, I don't know what happened today where it warranted a No Kings protest in my weird little fucking town in which Trump used to have a home in. His kids have a home in. It's just like I live in the middle of this shit. Harvey Weinstein used to live here. Jeffrey Epstein has definitely done things here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my town is in the Epstein files.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I looked it up. He wired Ghislaine Maxwell money from a bank in my town. A lot of money. If he represents the Rothschilds, the UBS Warburg Swiss bank still has what's left of itself in Stamford, and back in the day was the biggest fucking economic entity in Stamford.
Yeah.
Now that building is owned or leased out to the WWE. So I drive by the Big Belt all the time.
Modern day gladiators, dude. Bread and circus. Yeah, man. I was gonna say, I mean, how much time do you have?
I'm good, man. We can keep going.
Cool. So you and Stein have a show.
Yeah.
What do y'all do on that show? It's a rune reading. How does that go? And I'm gonna pull up this picture for you that I wanted to pull up earlier.
Okay.
Let's see.
So yeah, the whole show is a chance to get a free live rune reading with me. Which, if things move along at a certain pace, I could do anywhere from like probably 4 to 8, depending, readings on how fast things can go. And when it's slow, me and Stein just kind of shoot the shit for a little bit as kind of like a warm up, kind of like a talk about the week kind of thing. We'll talk about like some aspect of current events or whatever. I'll do a reading somewhere in the middle of the show if no one's chomping at the bit to do a reading off the bat. And then we'll work things out. It'll either be a personal reading on Stein, or Stein will ask a question about something going on in either his country in Europe or in the world or something like that. And I'll run a read off of that. I have kind of like a thing where I don't do readings without somebody sitting across from me. Like I just don't do general readings that just go out into the ethers to anyone whom it is meant. Right. I got to have somebody sitting with me of because I like working with a living energy.
Absolutely. What do you think of this picture right here?
All right, yeah, okay.
I'll zoom in on it if I need to.
All right. Well, it's working on it's working on the cube pattern. Interesting enough, right? And so yeah, this is rune posture meditation, rune yoga.
Okay.
Called it. Yeah.
Interesting. Fascinating.
I have different things that I have done. I have done some of these postures. I have done all different kinds of, wow, this guy's committed to a whole fucking handstand.
Dude, that's so cool though, dude. It's like it reminded my wife of the movements from the OA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That she thought about that. She's obsessed with that show still.
I do, like, I like to do a certain kind of modified manner in which these are done, where I will have two like wands of sorts in my hands, and I will do the postures more so with having my hands, my wrists making some of the angle points.
Yeah.
Which I find works better. You know,
what are your wands made of?
I can take these guys. Ugh. I haven't whipped out my scepter in a long ass time.
You have a scepter.
Ugh. Right? And
this is magnificent.
You know, so
guys, hold on, dude. Hold on. I have to full screen you.
You know, so like that takes something like, you see all the bullshit in my room now. Like, you know,
Your
like
room is
Bruce,
great.
or not. Well, I'm sorry, like Othal. You know, so like, you know, like normally you just have your like that, but you can have with your points of your magical implements as such. Like if I'm doing like here's like that's Nauthies. This is like this. Yeah, this one's Awaz. If I do it like this, it's Manaz, because then I'm bringing in to have those two triangle points, and then the rest of my body is kind of making the my legs are making the legs going down on that M.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, there's all sorts of I'm trying to remember. Like if I go like this, that's Wunyo, right? And so like I very much look like Wunyo because you know, that's the stem, and then that's the leaf that pops out right there, you know. Or I could, or sometimes I go like this, and this is more like Tharisaj. I'm just kind of flipping the script on it, you know, because if I was like this and like this, that would make sense as Tharisaj also.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I like working with these. Sometimes I haven't done it in a hot minute because
thank you.
I've been working on a different kind of magic.
What are those made out of? What kind of wood?
Well, the scepter is made of Hollywood.
There you go, guys.
Yeah, and the other one is just a
Illuminati confirmed, by the way. I said Illuminati confirmed. It's something that I do to troll some audience members. I've had claims of me being a Jesuit, so you know you got to watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I noticed with a lot of these runes, the ones that represent certain gods and goddesses, they take the shape of either like the first letter of their name or something that I guess an attribute that they have, right? Or a certain characteristic of that god or goddess.
Right.
Okay. So I'm right about okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just making sure I'm interpreting these things right,
like,
you know.
Like Odin's rune is Ansu's, and there's
it looks like a meditative pose. Yeah.
Right. And
okay.
And so perhaps Wotan, because that's the only version of his name I can think of off the top of my head where there's an A in it. right? And that's not even in the beginning of his name, right? You know, so like Ansu's kind of breaks that mold, as it's the A sound, the Ah sound, and that's for Odin.
Okay.
Right. You know, so because with Odin, you're saying the O sound first. You're working with Othal, right? And Othal's qualities are that of sanctuary, of the homeland, right? That's what's happening there. But otherwise, by and large, yes. Like Heimdall is Hagalaz, which is H.
Wow. Yeah, no, I figured I would show this to you. I was very interested. I just came across this on a random post.
Yeah, it's
Confirms what I
interesting
was-
that they have the 6-pointed cube structure going around the circle here. It's you know, because it's I'm wondering why they chose that, because there's much more than 6 points going on here, right?
Right. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's what the 6 points are pointing to.
Right.
But you're right about that one right there. It's definitely someone throwing a Roman. Someone doing a headstand too up there. Yeah. It's a peace sign. It's like a man hanging upside down. I don't know. That's kind of you know.
Yeah.
That made me think.
Or how about Saul? Like he's taking a squat.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's like
yeah.
Take a shit in the woods. That's what you do.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, dude, I got people asking what your channel is and everything, man. Yeah, you guys go follow Zerilath, please. Yeah, get him to 1,000 on YouTube. I just got there, dude. It took me a long time. There's so many people talk about their shadow ban. Whatever, dude.
I'm on my 3rd channel, and
wow.
And my first one was Digital Seppuku. Okay, so I don't want to hear it about people in cancel culture.
Wow, dude. Yeah, no, that's yeah. I've had people. I've really just had people who have been pushed back on certain rhetoric that I've had, but nothing of that. My YouTube channel hasn't been taken down, so that's good. Right. But there's some streams I did in the last couple of years, especially, that I didn't stream to YouTube, probably for a good reason.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
I've always been I had a hard time getting in a lot of trouble on YouTube. It took a while before, like, it was, what the hell was it? It was 2022 or 3. It was around this. It was around the early fall of like 2022 or 2023 when I had lost my 2nd channel to cancellation. Something happened and I wouldn't let it go. With I was continuing to just make content the way I wanted to make content, and I was cruising on 2 strikes. And so at some point I just woke up, I got a notification that my channel had been deleted. And I'm not one of those guys that got his channel back when people started getting reactivated left and right. Didn't happen to me.
Huh. Well, I'm glad you're back now.
Oh yeah. I took a hiatus for making content for a couple of months. I think maybe I took about 3 months off and didn't care, didn't think about it, and then just came back on the scene, re-uploaded a bunch of key things I had done in my past, and started doing new stuff. Eventually found some things I wanted to start doing more of the book clubby kind of things.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Dude, you're always invited. We actually landed on the Valispa for next Saturday morning. So I don't know if you're around.
Maybe we'll see. Today I took an extra shift, so I did like a 6-day work week. Took some overtime. So normally on a Saturday I am free, but I don't know how often they want to spring an overtime on me, and I don't want to say no too much because I'm really liking this gig. But
that's good.
I prefer to be free. I'm fine working. So
whenever you can make it, dude.
Yeah.
No
That's just like, because I got people that are just like, hey man, where you been? Is this like something up? Just like, no, I've just been busting my ass.
Yeah. My ordeal for the past few weeks. So we talked about runes. What's the difference between a rune and a bind rune?
Well, a bind rune is when you've taken runes and you've bound them together. So
okay. So that's
it's a structure. It's a structure of sigil craft, right?
Okay. Yeah.
A
little familiar. I've studied some. I'm familiar with what sigil magic is and how it is used. I've talked a lot, especially on the Occult Rejects, about how World War II was a giant like sigil war. You had the you had the hexagram of Solomon, and then you had the the hook cross, right? The swastika, and like the fasci, and all these different ancient symbols being used. Sometimes in some esoteric and some occult texts, they're used in tandem with each other, right? Like when Manly P. Hall writes some of his books, some of his treatises, he lines the pages with both symbols. It's very maybe like a Kabbalistic thing to it, though, right? Like some light and dark aspect. Or again, we know these symbols are a lot older than when they're presented to us, and we know that that's not what they mean.
Right.
Yeah.
The symbols were redesigned by von List. I think Otto von List was his name, and then he had it's like the von List Futhark, if you will, and that's where you get its kind of almost basically it's a blocky brutalist postmodern form of the runes. Is like I hate the energy of List's runes. They're specifically designed to make their energy more of a blunt force, as opposed to when the lines are in their these thinner. The thinner way that the lines are, it's much more. It's like electrical wiring, right? Yeah. So these big chunky kind of things, and all of that was so that way it had a certain impression when emblazed in use for the aesthetic designs, which is all part of the magic process because of the art side of magic and having the effect that art has on you.
And I don't think people understand, and I've talked about this a lot on my show, not so much recently, because we did read a book on magic, on the left and right hand path magic, and basically that everyone uses magic daily, and they choose just not to recognize it, right? Or do you just think it's really about the intent, like the intent of use of what you do in a certain ritual or prayer, meditation,
right?
Like, or do you think some people access certain powers and don't know it?
I think that the more accurate way of putting it is not so much that people are doing magic and they don't realize it.
Okay.
But it's that what they do has a magical effect that you do not appreciate, right?
I get it. Yeah.
If you did, you actually would have more control of your situation instead of the manner in which what you do is kind of an insult to your surroundings.
In which another force controls you.
Right. Because a lot of it is how another force is acted upon you. You know, like if you are among the profane and you are scared and you pull out a cross to protect you, sure, it may protect you, but it is also reinforcing a bunch of other things, including your dependency on everything that has been poured into the meaning of their cross.
Absolutely. As well as occult meanings to earlier forms of the cross, right? That people will sit there and say like, oh, that's
well, right. Like at the end of the day, you're throwing up the open hypercube, right, at them, you know, because we're getting into the whole hypercube symbolism of the offset cross with the crossbar in the upper third, right, as opposed to balanced in the middle, right? The iron cross as we know it, when encircled, is actually a symbol of Udinma. It's a symbol of dominion. It's a symbol of the four quadrants of the world. It is a symbol of wholeness and balance.
The four elements.
Yes.
Many things. Yeah.
Yeah. The Hopi had warned that if the men from the West came and they did not have the encircled cross, that they had fallen and they are not to be trusted.
Really?
When Christianity came, they were originally a fish cult. The godfish symbol was the strongest symbol. They had to steal Odin, who died on a tree for divine strength, and they had to replace that with Jesus. And then in the process of that, they took away the ring of Udinma from the cross that they had then inverted into the hypercube as a symbol of threat and dominion.
Wow.
Because you've got to remember, you're throwing a capital punishment, a symbol of capital punishment that has an interdimensional Saturnian black magic X upon it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And
right?
that's the origins of that tribe of people, you know, venerated that dark, you know,
it's a lot
Saturnian
like,
hex.
It's a lot like the peace sign, because it also represents a sword. And the cross, the right side up cross, is the upside down sword. The sword is upside down as a symbol of surrender. Such as when you approach the king, you kneel before the sword. Sword is down, you offer your head to the king, your life is in his hands. Right? So when the sword is up, when you have the satanic cross, that is you speaking up and using your tongue. And you are standing up against someone. So this is where, you know, the Satanist wants to have that upside down cross, because they don't want to live outside of the paradigm where they're fighting Jehovah, who is going to annihilate them. But because they want to play in that mythology and have more fun being in the world fighting Jehovah, instead of realizing, hey guys, you can just go over here and Jehovah can't touch you. Right? Nobody just wants to go over there where Jehovah can't touch them. Instead, they have to have everything Jehovah has and then flip it upside down. And this is where you get like the satanic metal community. I love you guys. You guys are fun, but Satanism's getting
little gay.
It's getting a little juvie, guys. Right? Everybody made fun of Behemoth. I love Behemoth. But, you know, the shit of God is like, oh, this is not very deep, man. This is like,
yeah, no, I
and it's just
definitely
like,
know what you mean.
are metalheads starting to realize that Hail Satan isn't always the coolest content?
Right. Well, that's also keeping them trapped in that same paradigm, right?
Right. Exactly. It's like when you spend all day making a mockery of a pathetic person, to the point where you're actually elevating the pathetic person because you're giving him all your attention. It's a form of worship.
Absolutely, man. So before we get out of here in a little bit, I did want to ask you a couple questions. I've been doing this recently. Well, the last few guests I had on, I think, who we have on last? I think Jacob from Rise to Liberty came on. We had Magus and the Media on. We had Aeon Bite on.
Nice.
And yeah, I haven't been doing too many gray pilled shows. I've been doing more Occult Rejects, Gods of the Morning Wood. Me and Headless have a show called Rustic Gods where we go over the Greek gods. And
I catch that once in a blue moon.
It's great.
I've been spread thin, and I have some focused studies going on.
Yeah, man. But there's a few questions. Okay, there goes. Family got home, and so the dog goes crazy. Just ignore that. It'll be all right.
It's all right. It's a live show, folks.
A couple questions. Do you have a favorite mythical or mythological creature? Mythological, right? Creature from folklore. From any kind of European folklore.
Well, sure. I mean, like, let's just like I pretty much think I'm a dragon, so like I don't even want to talk about it because dragons. Who fucking doesn't? It's fucking dragons. It's like God's power on earth in many respects with the thing that it is.
I mean, that's
Yeah. But let's just say, aside from the obvious super flying death and wisdom machine that these fucking just like I'm an Andromedan soul seed. I know this, and dragons. There's a lot of dragons in Andromeda. But anyway, I know I went so woo on you for 3 seconds. It
happens, bro.
I got just enough new age nonsense in me. Just enough. A lot of stuff that I just know. All right.
I mean, it's really just mixed into everything now, if you think about it, you know?
Right. But yeah, no, man, mythological creatures. Geez.
That may have been a loaded question. I can ask you a different question. Let's see. Oh, well, here's what I've asked some people. If you could go back in history to any time or civilization and hang out with one person, who would it be and what would you do?
Okay.
This is better. I think this is a better question, right?
Yeah. Huh. Okay. I would want to hang out with the last Hyperborean king of Udenma before the Ragnarok.
Who was that?
I don't know, but he obviously existed, and that's who it would be.
Where do you read about like these Hyperborean kings, like the
nowhere. It's lost to history. That's why I don't know who they are. I want to talk to somebody who we don't even know who they are yet, but I do know that they existed, right? It's a title that existed that is lost to history.
I see. So
right?
whoever that man was.
It's in the Box Saga, and I believe that those threads of the Box Saga are very literally true.
Where does the Box Saga stem from? This is something I'm gonna have you back on Finland. For. But Finland. Okay.
Helsinki, Finland, which used to be the North Pole.
Really?
Yes, which is why that is the cradle of civilization.
I'd agree
was
with
a
you.
par-
Is
it was a-
that
it
why
was
they're
a
trying to like
paradise.
destroy it right now with immigrants?
It was a paradise before the Ragnarok. And that's where the original line that seeded the whole race came from. The whole royal family.
I would love to talk to you sometime about that lineage. Maybe could have you on to talk about that.
Yeah, well, I don't have the answers on the lineage per se, other than what I know in the Box Saga, and then it's interesting way that it then starts coming into history as we know it when you start seeing how these people down the line eventually there became like here's the Rajas from India, and then here's the pharaohs from Egypt, and and they started coming in these earliest civilizations from all these different kinds of people that came in, but there's the pre-Ragnarok way that it all started, and then there's after the Ragnarok when they were starting to send their guys back out into an already populated world to try to come in and say like, hey, remember us? We're back. Like we found a way out of the ice, and I'm from the original family. Ra sent me, right? Like the king's title was like Ra. And the queen's title was what was the queen's damn title? Shoot. Darn, I'm forgetting it off the top of my head because
I'm asking you a lot of questions.
There's so much in the Box Saga, right?
I'm asking you a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm letting you know where my limitations are at because it's wild how I know things, but also the
Don't
time
know them sometimes.
to give you the best and the realest of answers because where the academic versus the intuitive kind of have to get parsed out in my immense knowledge.
Yeah, I get it. I have a hard time doing that sometimes. Yeah, need to work on that. Well, dude, yeah, no, we'll have to. Someone else. I had Stein back on. I think it was a few weeks ago. Nick came on and hung out with us. Man, we had a good time. Would love to get the both of you on here. Maybe I could join you guys for a rune reading or something. I don't know.
Oh, please do. Yeah,
definitely, dude. Well,
yeah. You want a reading? I get you a reading.
Hey, Freya.
Yeah, Freya. She's a good friend. She knows what I was like on older channels, the channels that got lost. At least the last one. I don't know how far. I don't remember how far back she goes.
Have you put most of those videos that you lost on those channels, or did you lose those, or did you end up, just putting those all on this channel?
Some of them are hanging out on Rumble. Some of them are hanging out on Odyssey. But I really don't like double upload anymore. Like I said, I need a new computer.
I got you. Thank you, Fire Pixie. It's a long time coming, over 2 years now, and I was begging people, but we finally got there. Zerilath, incredible conversation, one of the best I've had. I say that every episode, but this was truly a privilege for you to come on here and talk, man. I learned a lot today, and I appreciate you and your knowledge.
I appreciate you too, man, and so
And we have a lot in common with the whole music thing. Me and Thomas have a show, or the Paranoid American, as you call him. We have a show called Sound Science. We had Nick Cage's son on. His son, what's his name? His son, Weston, I think.
Yeah, I heard him. I heard him when he was on the Occult Rejects. I want to talk to him.
Dude, he was filming when I hit him up, but I was like, hey, I want you to come on for a Patreon episode, smaller audience, and I think we could have a better conversation that way with
him, because if I recall, he knows at least from his relationship with his dad a little bit about the Hollywood thing, and I am one of the dudes that has talked to Tom Althouse. So it'd be really interesting to hear, some of that stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, he has his own music that he makes, and he acts and everything. So he's a pretty busy guy.
Yeah. I think I heard a couple of his songs. Like, yeah, he's got like a good, like, it's like a black metal band or something.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Sounds pretty bright. Sounds pretty legit. Yeah, and you know what? It's unfortunate some of the freaking choices with the Ghost Rider films, but like the story Ghost Rider 2 was going for could have been so awesome, because I saw exactly what they were trying to do with the elite soul swapping thing. And it's just like that film, if it had freaking put it together better, it would have been so ahead of its time with revelations of the Epstein files and consciousness transfers and the black magic that it's there, even though it's not directly connected. It'll be directly connected, when you realize what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Once you learn more about magic and how, you can start to recognize those things that most of the normies, aren't, they won't see. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, no, I'd love to get you back on sometime, and we'll have to get you on Occult Rejects sometime too. But
yeah. I will. I'd love to get I'm always like, sometimes I'm like, oh, what are you guys talking about? It's like, oh, it's not in my wheelhouse right now. Right. It's like, I'm definitely on my own thing. What I learned and the good reasons why I've come to join with Temple of the White Dragon is because it's helping me put the reason why it ain't sounds like nothing you ever heard before is because of principles that I have held to, that have been tested over time with my time. I've been just an initiate level since 2018. And I'm close to ready to going into Ulfidnar level 2, which then some higher level secrets I will be able to understand after those kinds of initiations. And so the results are quite something in your personal life. And then it's just wild because you become, if you're into this aspect of the study, it turns you into someone like me with all sorts of answers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the esoteric knowledge that I have accumulated and the path that I have taken, which, me and Brandon from Magus talked about it, the path of the mystic, which I think you're very aware of. It is, it's not something that you're ever, I don't think, ever going to fully know anything. Right. I like to say, once you think you know everything, you know nothing.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, man, you see it start to manifest in your life, though. You start to see these signs and these symbols, and things start to make more sense.
Yeah.
Reality.
Everything starts. Everything starts talking to you, and it's just like you see somebody flashing this symbol, and you get an idea of what that guy's working with is coming from, right? Yeah. Like I said, people are working with magic unaware, but in truth is that they're playing with things that have a magical effect that they don't appreciate.
Even if you explain it to some of them, man, like I've noticed this with some of my, I've had some people, I guess, stop watching my show that are Christians. They don't really accept the esoteric, view of it. And it's like, well, without the esoteric, what is it? That's my opinion.
I just enjoy if I've gotten into like a really sharp freaking argument with somebody, I piss them off. And then like 3 months later, they're like, yo, I figured it out. You were right. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know if I expect that, but we'll see. I think everyone's path is different, and maybe people who have watched my show in the past will experience some of the things I have talked about and things myself have experienced. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And I think having these conversations can really help put a lot of things in perspective. So like I said, brother, I appreciate you coming on here and hanging out with me. You're always welcome on this show.
I'm having a blast and
good,
whatnot. Good. I just need to be given some heads up informed about what's going on with when Nick's going live with the thing. Because believe me, I'm always down if I happen to have the fucking free time. I do work full time right now.
Me too. Yeah, I get it. I had to quit. Like I said earlier, I had to quit doing weekdays. I'm gonna have to mark that out on my calendar or my Calendly. Yeah. Even Friday nights, guys. I'm not getting home till 9 o'clock, and my kids want to see me. My wife wants to see me. So it is what it is. But like I said, Saturdays we got the Gods of the Morning Wood Esoteric Book Review, 9 o'clock Central Saturday mornings, and then usually we'll every few weeks we'll do like a watch party where we live stream a movie. I have a wheel that I spin. I have a David Lynch wheel, and I have another movie wheel. Then we have a book wheel right now that is it's a lot on there. So we depend on the wheel, and it gives us our answer.
I've got no set planned things to do just yet because I'm taking a little bit of a break from that. Because I want to do some personal reading in my own time. I want to bang out Children of Dune and hopefully get far enough in to be able to see the movie properly.
Yeah. That's a movie that's on the wheel too. The one from the 80s.
Right. Well, yeah, it's a David Lynch.
Yeah.
Or an Alan Smithy if you're a cool kid.
But it does tell, and there's people that talk about this, how the certain prophecies can control populations of people, right?
Yeah. It is. It's very interesting. And Dune Messiah works like a spy thriller, right? And that shifts, like everybody in Dune has always known just like basically the first book because of the Lynch movie, the TV series, which then eventually the series goes into more from Sci-Fi Channel. It goes there. But now we're going to move in, and everybody understood the Harkonnens. Now we're going to be looking at the Tlaxu, who I'm assuming from the way Messiah ends will still be very relevant in Children of Dune. And the Tlaxu are the transhumanists.
Okay.
Yeah. Like everybody's just like, oh, but boy, they killed Duncan, Idaho. Why is it? Read Messiah, right? He's a cyborg. They made him a cyborg mentat with wiped memories. And the story is, if they do it right, and if he's a good enough actor for it, he's going to be struggling finding himself. It's kind of like the movie Universal Soldier. He's Universal Soldier. You remember that one?
I don't think I've seen it, but I know.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think, and he dies. He was like an elite soldier.
He's reanimated, right?
He's reanimated as a cyber, right? With it's like Universal Soldier and and Duncan, Idaho as hate is pretty much the same story.
Yeah, see, so the Dune it comes from books, right? Brought me a
books from the 60s.
Okay, because I think I got my son. I think we may have got my son that book. I don't know. He needs to read it.
There's 6 of them.
Okay.
There's 6 of them in Frank's original story. And then people have low opinions or lesser opinions of his son's continuations since then. But there's more after the 6 from his son.
Well, what I was going to say earlier, me and Thomas had that show. We had Weston Cage on. We had Foundering on, Shane Cashman, a bunch of people, friends of our shows. But we had my dad on. My dad used to work for a blues label back when I was a kid here in Mississippi.
Nice.
But I'd love to have you on, and we'd have a metal show. You just pick out your top 5 favorite albums that were most influential to you, and we go through, we listen to a few songs. We don't go to YouTube. I think we stream for the first 10 minutes to YouTube. We let people know we're on Rumble and Twitter, and then we cut it off. And then we listen to a few songs from each album. You talk about it, why you like it, all that good stuff. It's fun, man.
I've got several artists that mean a lot to me. One of the interviews that I saved from my old days goes back to 2014 when I was on Revolution Radio. The drummer of Scar Symmetry, Henrik Olsen, who was the primary writer for all of the band's material. I got him on, and we basically had a friendship. And we were talking, and we talked about the Neo-Humanity Phase 1 album. They did 2 out of 3 in the trilogy. I'm assuming they're not going to finish it because that was, he left the band or fired or something. He's no longer with Scar. So if that third comes out, it's either he joins the band again or whatever agreement he has with the creative writing side of it. Long story short is he's in one of those bands that was writing all the kind of stuff out there that was like all that conspiracy stuff with the Illuminati, and it was very well informed, as well as a lot of the crazy science stuff, some of the spiritual stuff. And so I was just really in love with all the songs he was writing, right? I interviewed him. I got a chance to interview him, talk about that album.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dreams come true.
They do. I'm hopefully going to get a few more.
I wish I was as fortunate to do that in my younger years. Travel and do other things, man. I ended up fucking getting caught up in some shit and getting put on probation for 6-7 years of my life. 6-7. Sorry, my son. He's a teenager. He makes 6-7 jokes all the time. It's very annoying. But he has me doing it. Something else I wanted to let the audience know. Adding this to the wheel. Prophecies of Paracelsus by this Hohenheim guy who comes from he has the last name Hohen, so he definitely comes from one of those Luxembourg royal families, Dutch families. That I think are scapegoated a lot. That I read about this name, and I'm like, I haven't. It's like you can't find anything on them. You can't find anything on them because they're so bad and secret. And it's like, no, I just don't think they've done anything. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe implicated in some things. But anyway, I digress. Zerilath, let people know where they can find you, and if there's anything you got coming soon, or if there's anything that you're going to be working on soon.
Thank you. So, my YouTube channel is, I enjoy being connective there, right? So you've got, Zerilath Eternal, as spelled as one word on YouTube at Zerilath Eternal. You can like, share, and subscribe there. There's also Zerilath Shreds if you want to hear me putting out various little scratch tracks and things of various qualities, and me playing around with some stuff. So there's no songs on there. It's all just kind of like scratch tracks. I kind of have a little bit of a writer's block issue when it comes to putting things together by myself. I torture myself with that. And so Zerilath Shreds, you keep an eye on that once in a blue for music. Otherwise, I will be getting in. I'll be finding something not on par with the material I'd been covering recently, which was like political stuff, Jewish stuff. I'm going to jump back into something more in getting into old world occult and magic, and adding more of that kind of stuff to the content once I figure out what precisely I'm diving into. So that'll take some time, as I'm going to be off of having a planned script for a hot minute.
Yeah, man. Guys, go over to his channel. Get him up to 1,000, please.
I need less than 200 of you. That's
There you
what's so cool about it.
I know I should be. I'd better fucking be subscribed. I'm pretty sure I am. I'm here. I'm gonna subscribe to your Shred channel.
I'm an
I need to
acquired taste.
flog myself.
I might even be a little insufferable. So I can understand if people be like, this guy's a joke.
I can be too. It's okay. But yeah, man, this was great, guys. Don't have anything else this weekend. If you're in the Patreon, or if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/greypilledpodcast. It's a way to get in all the Grey Pill chats when we're watching movies outside of streaming them. We're just hanging out because I don't have any. Well, I have friends, but they have kids too, and I don't hang out with anyone really at night. So sometimes we hang out, we kick it. Follow me on X at greypilledpod, Instagram greypilled_podcast. I haven't posted on Instagram in a while. I got to work on that. I know I do. I don't think anybody really cares, but whatever. YouTube, thank you for 1,000. I appreciate it. Rumble, let's get there. We're almost there. We're at like 950. Super shadow ban on Rumble and YouTube. I had a guy message me not too long ago telling me he couldn't find my channel. And yeah, it was weird. I also had my channel shut down for a day one time over practically nothing. I don't know what I did, or I don't know. I guess I did something, but also Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those good places, because Spreaker will not let me create a Spreaker. They won't let me create one. Tried 3 times. I'm still going to try to live stream me creating one and then showing y'all 24 hours later that it's gone. So I guess my content is not acceptable on there. That's okay. But yeah, go check out This Morning, Gods of the Morning Wood. It was just me and Subliminal, and we finished up occult symbolism of animals, the mammals part, and then Valsunga Saga part 3 on what we've been that we left off at chapter 18, where Sigurd's going to slay Fafnir. So it's exciting, and Subliminal thought that's where we should leave off. And I said, well, next time I want to get somebody on there to read with us. And I mentioned you, Zerilath, or Stein, or this guy named Brute Norse, I think is his name on Twitter. I don't know if you know who he is.
Brute Norse.
Yeah. He has a pretty cool channel. Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for coming and hanging out with us tonight. And if I don't see y'all later, have a good rest of your weekend. Question everything, fear nothing, and stay gray-pilled, guys. We'll see you later. Sticker packs going out soon to all you patrons. And yeah, love y'all.
Kill me, Lloyd.
You handsome faggot.